Welcome to Grammar Week 5. I bet you guys are getting really good at this by now. In fact, you might not even need my videos too much longer. If you're just able to go over your corrections with your parents, you might not even need me to make these videos anymore, and that would be really great. So I have gone ahead and put in today's vocabulary word, purse, a small pouch for carrying money. You might have heard purse used a little bit differently. Maybe your mother carries a purse when she goes to the store, and maybe her purse might be a pretty big bag. But in this case, when we talk about purse in this context, so in this situation, we're talking about just a little bag for money, and all it has in it is money. It doesn't have pens or, whoops. There we go. All right, so that's our definition of purse. So I can put away my binder, and let's get to work on the first sentence. Actually, let's remind ourselves what's going on in this story. It's always good to look over this again. Whoops, whose is that word? Oh boy. We'll start by reading what we've written. You go ahead and follow along. Did you ever hear the story of the 3 poor soldiers? They fought well in the wars, but now they were out of work and destitute. They had journeyed a long way, sick at heart with their wretched luck. One evening their road brought them to a deep, gloomy wood. Since the wood was dark and dangerous, they decided to take turns keeping watch. 2 of them fell asleep under a tree, while the third built a fire and stayed alert. He had not sat long before, all of a sudden, up came a small dwarf in a red jacket. Rather than rebuffing the little man, the soldier invited him to come warm himself by the fire. As they talked, he told the little man about their plight. "Well, my worthy fellow," stated the little man, "I will do what I can for you. Take this cloak and show it to your comrades in the morning." I just noticed I have a spelling mistake in here. I'm going to fix it. There we go. "Whenever you don the cloak, anything you wish for will be done for you." The elfin man bowed and walked away. In due time, the second soldier's turn to watch came. He likewise was visited by the little man in the red jacket. The soldier treated him in as sociable a way as his comrade had done. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with our sentence here for day 1. The little man gave the second soldier a purse, which would always be full of gold, he told him. All right, so we've done our vocabulary. Do we need to indent? Nope, no new line, no indent. We're going to stay on the same line. Homophones? I don't see any homophones underlined. End marks, let's see. The little man gave the second soldier a purse, which would always be full of gold, he told him. What do you think? Is that going to be a period, question mark, or exclamation point? Yeah, that's just a statement, so it's a period. Quotation marks. Now this is an interesting one for quotation marks. We don't have, so let's read this again. Let's see. The little man gave this soldier a purse, the second soldier a purse, which would always be full of gold, he told him. Now, it sounds to me like the narrator is telling us what the little man told the soldier, but we don't get to hear those words coming out of his mouth, really. If we heard them coming out of his mouth, we might have something like, the little man gave the soldier a purse and said, quotation, "This will always be full of gold," end quotation. So he didn't, we're not like seeing a little speech bubble here. We're just hearing the narrator say that it would always be full of gold and that he told him that. But we don't need any quotation marks because there's no speech bubble. Now we'll do our nouns, articles, and pronouns, and then I'm going to teach you a new thing to look for. So let's see our articles, nouns, and pronouns. The little man, oh, there we are right away. Article, the little man, there's our noun, gave the second soldier a purse. There's the second or the soldier? Good, the soldier. A purse, oop, there we go. There's another article, a purse. That sounds like a noun, right? That's a thing. Which would always be full of gold, he told him. I don't see an article, but I do see a noun. Gold is a noun. That's a thing. And then we also have our pronouns. He, right? That's a pronoun. And him. Now, we have to look for something else here. So, a lot of times when people are writing, they want to make their writing very interesting. So, they use a lot of little things to help dress up their writing. Like, it's making it put on its fanciest clothes. One of those ways that people dress up their writing is to use what's called a who or which clause. So, this week we're going to work on the which clause. So that's anytime you see that we talk about something which was this or that. The clause will include more words than just which, because it's kind of like a phrase. So we have to read the whole clause from the which to the next comma or end mark. So let's see if we can find the word which in this sentence. The little man gave the second soldier a purse, which would always be full of gold, he told him. There's that word which. So we're going to write W to say that right here, that's a who which clause. Let's look at our, let's get out our binder again and take a look at what exactly that means. So here we've got our page. And it looks like we're ready to cut out this one for the who which clause. And we'll go ahead and tape that into our binder. Cut that off and tuck this one back into the folder. Now let's see, what does this say? Who which clause? A who which clause usually describes the noun, the thing, that comes immediately before it. Use which for things and who for people. That's good to know. I'm going to go ahead and store that right here so I don't forget what that means. All right, so let's look back at our sentence. So the clause comes right after the noun that it's describing. So the little man gave the second soldier a purse, which would always be full of gold, he told him. So this who which clause is really, so this was the noun, and then we have this whole thing, which would always be full of gold. That's the who which clause, or the which clause in this case. So if this had been, if this noun had been a person instead of a thing, we would have used the word who here. We'll talk about that another day. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and put it in the notebook. And I see that I don't need a new line because I don't have a paragraph mark. So I will be on a new line because I ran out of space there, but I know that I'm not on a new paragraph because I'm not going to indent. The little man gave the second soldier a purse. Looks like we've got a comma there. And here comes our which clause. Which would, oops, sorry, I did a little joined writing there. Always be full of gold. Another comma. So that's like a little phrase that goes in there to talk about the purse. Which would always be full of gold, he told him. Now, do you see how it makes this a little more interesting that we put this which clause in here. We added this little part of the sentence that gave us a little bit more information about the purse, because we could have just said the little man gave the second soldier a purse. But we wanted to give a little more information about that purse. So we used that which clause in order to add a little more information, make it a little bit more interesting. All right, good job for grammar today.